Today's Joby Aviation analysis is going to take a look at Joby, but also the overall eVTOL thesis. And this is something that we've been looking at for some time now. So you can see here a number of pieces that we've written. These are all from last year. So we took a look at a McKinsey study that examined the economic viability of the entire thesis, and we found some holes in their analysis. The other pieces we wrote were around 6 eVTOL stocks, one being Joby Aviation stock. And you can see from this chart here all the 6 publicly traded eVTOL stocks out there. So you've got Joby being the biggest, and then some other names here. You can see in blue would be the market cap at the time we last wrote about this thesis in March of 2022, or at least these 6 stocks. And then you can see most recently what the market caps look like. So, of course, we would expect that all of them have fallen given that we're in a bear market. But if you were bullish about the eVTOL thesis before, then now you ought to be really excited because you can purchase these names even cheaper. Now, we're not overly excited about this thesis, and the first reason is that we're not entirely sure it's economically viable. So when McKinsey did their work on the cost competitiveness of the eVTOL thesis, they used data from a single company instead of the hundreds that were out there, and it seemed to be the most optimistic pricing model, where perhaps a sensitivity analysis would have been more useful to explore what variables matter most. So the idea is that this new form of transportation is targeting a blue ocean total addressable market, in other words, one that hasn't existed before, or a superior method of transportation that saves people time in exchange for what is seen as more money. How cost competitive the offering is, that remains to be seen based on, again, the assumptions that are being made. So until these vehicles achieve autonomy, so based on the literature we've read, they're going to be, the best case scenario, they'll be as expensive to operate as a helicopter, and until they achieve autonomy, they'll need pilots. So airlines are struggling to meet demand for pilots today, so it remains to be seen how they plan to provide human pilots for their aircraft until autonomy is reached. Now, the biggest advantage eVTOLs offer is time savings. Well, most of us have more time than money. So the eVTOL industry on the bright side may eventually benefit from some sort of government support enjoyed by electric vehicles, and there's some legislation advancing in that direction. But it all comes down to this. It's a build it and they will come model, and we don't like those. Now, when we look at how close various firms are to achieving commercialization, we can see here that you have EHang at the top. They have already achieved commercialization and that they're producing aircraft and selling them. Now, EHang is a VI and not a company we're going to talk about in this presentation. We stay far clear of VI structures. The other 4 companies of the publicly traded lot that are reflected in this nice chart from SMG Consulting are Archer, Joby, Lilium, and Vertical Aerospace. And you can see on the right where it shows all of those firms are expecting to achieve commercial launch in 2025, or let's say at least approval. And you can see where they've given a red light, yellow light, orange light, green light, depending on the likelihood of that happening. And you can see they've green lighted Joby Aviation as possibly achieving certification in 2025. Now, there's been a term going around in the, let's say, the intellectual dark world about this concept of a steel man. And the idea here is this. So most people, when they're attacking somebody else's argument, will try to undermine the opposition by attacking the weakest part of the argument. This happens all the time when we write about or we analyze stocks that are being pumped. So the cheerleaders will immediately scour the entire presentation to find one fact that's out of line and attack us on it. And that's what happens when their sole purpose is to win or discredit. We always respond by saying, what facts in this presentation do you disagree with? That's when they go to try to find the littlest thing that they can point out that's wrong. That's why we're very careful in what we say, and that what we provide is all factual. Now, if you're more interested in convincing somebody of your argument than you are of winning, you would take the strongest facts they have and present those to them with a retort. So this is called the Steel Man, and here you can see a rather funny cartoon that talks about the Turing test for a computer having to convince the person that's taking or that's administering the Turing test that they're a computer. So put simply, it's building the best form of the other side's argument and then engaging with it. That's kind of what short reports do. Now you have to bear in mind that a short report is being written by somebody who's motivated financially to discredit a firm. So you need to take it with a grain of salt. But it certainly represents the strongest argument for the bear case for any company. So when we see a short report come out, we get really excited because we can scour that and see what they have to say. If you're a bull, you should be very excited to see this report because then it's the steel man for the bear thesis, which you can then vet and see what concerns you. Now, the biggest concern clearly is what's seen in Joby's SPAC deck and just about every other SPAC that you look at, although this is particularly egregious. And you can see here that in 2024, so that's next year, they're expecting $131 million of revenue, and they'll be producing 141 aircraft. So what's been circled at the top there, you can see, is the revenue predictions, and then in orange outline in the bottom, that's more interesting. That's revenue generating aircraft they said they were going to have. What they actually have is a pre-production pilot that they were testing last year, and the first aircraft is going to roll off their production lines, they say, this year. So they've clearly missed by a long stretch what they've promised investors, and that's a pretty big point of contention no matter how you look at it. How can you trust a management team that pretty much told investors what they wanted to hear, and then when it comes time to execution, well, in the SPAC deck, they talk about how many decades of industry experience they have, but nobody could see this one coming, right? Another point of contention raised by this short report is their CapEx guidance. So you look at what Joby has in terms of cash, somewhere around $1.1 billion exiting last year, and that's expected to last through, let's say, 2026. Look at the CapEx requirement they have versus other airline companies. It's just so small. So there's this whole notion of exaggerated expectations coming from Joby. And when you look at what they say they're going to do, so for example, Blade, we've talked about them before. They're actually flying helicopters and running this business model, and then they're going to substitute eVTOLs into it. So it's actually pretty slick. They sold 27,665 seats on all flights in 2021. Joby's guidance suggests that it will be making 38,500 daily flights. That's daily flights, carrying an average of 2.3 passengers per departure. To put that into perspective, Delta flies about 4,000 flights per day. So they're very aggressive in what they claim they're going to be able to do. And as recent as April 2022, they told Anderson Cooper on CNN that they were going to launch next year. Will they be certified next year? Well, when you look at their latest investor deck, and this is rather troubling, all that SPAC stuff, that's all disappeared. It's a lot of pictures and multimedia presentations. The only hard numbers, the only metrics that they provide is on a single slide, which you see here, which is the stages of certification and where they've reached with that. And another thing that you'll notice when you look at the company's press releases is lots of stuff like this. And the short report pointed this out, where they're talking about all this certification stuff. You know what we really care about? We care about when they've been certified so that they can fly a vehicle with passengers in it. And when you look at what they said on the SPAC deck regarding their timeline and how they're ahead of the competition, look here, 2024, commercial service launch in initial markets, global commercial service launch. Great. So we're expecting that to happen next year. Now, according to what experts are saying, like SMG Consulting, they're expecting Joby to be certified by 2025. So they would clearly miss this target. Now, since they have this seasoned management team with decades of experience, we should, if you're an investor, trust what they say and assume that, in fact, they're going to be flying planes next year. Doesn't look very likely, but what we'd like to see this experienced management team do is answer some key questions. Very simple. How long will it be before a manufactured FAA-approved aircraft is flying a regularly scheduled revenue-producing route? Simple. When is that going to happen? From that point in time, when revenue starts to be generated, how long is it going to be until you become cash flow positive? You were willing to make expectations all the way, or predictions all the way out to 2030. Why can't you start making predictions anymore? Is that because you were dead wrong and now you're unsure of what to do? That's more likely the case. That's how you should have started out in the beginning. Are there going to be healthy enough gross margins here without the need to subsidize this business model while you wait for automation? That's a critically important question. We don't know how far automation is away. That also needs to be certified. In the meantime, you're going to have humans on these aircraft. That's going to raise the cost significantly. So speaking of costs, in the Q4 2022 letter, they talk about net cash used in operating and purchases of property and equipment was around $290 million last year. They expect for this year, on the lower end, for that to be $360 million. So let's just run with that. That means they're exiting this year with $740 million, assuming a best case. So if we then assume that same growth rate in CapEx, that means they'll burn $446 million in 2024. And why shouldn't we assume that they're going to require more CapEx as they build out the infrastructure for their grand plans? That means that they'll then exit 2024 with $293 million. Then what? So they're going to raise in 2025? Are they going to raise when they have FAA approval? Probably will, but are they going to be able to raise at decent terms? How much of the business are they going to have to give away? Are investors even going to be interested because they missed their previous estimates by a country mile? So this is a far cry, it seems, from what investors were promised. And of course, let's wait until we see what happens next year. But the entire eVTOL thesis, regardless of which company you look at, with the exception of Blade, is build it and they will come. Management at Joby should be grilled as to why they gave such wild projections, because they're not hitting them, for one, and they're not going to hit them. So the result is a management team that refuses to provide any color going forward because they probably don't have any idea. And who the hell would trust them after they provided such outrageous estimates in their SPAC deck and missed them? So when the first revenue generating routes are being flown, only then will we know what the economics look like. So I've put up another presentation here that you might be interested in. Before you watch that, please click the Nanalyze logo on the right, subscribe to our channel. Thanks for taking the time to watch this today.